Hi, I want to try one other way of showing you this fabulous bone, the humerus. So this is just one other way, this time with a drawing, and let's see if this works for you. So I've drawn this fabulous example of a humerus, and in orange I put where the actual condyle is. Okay, so I'm going to color in orange where the condyle is, which means that's the ball side, the ball and socket. This is a right. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to show you that condyle is this area here, which means that's going to be where it connects to another bone. So that's kind of the condyle area. Think of that as this is going to be in a socket, okay? And then down here, this is going to either connect with the radius or the ulna. And let's try and remember what those names were. Hopefully you watched the other video. So here, there's going to be, my dark there is an indentation, but they are two protrusions on that part that are going to stick out. One is a big stick out and one is a little stick out. So the big stick out is the greater tubercle. Okay, so this one is going to be, I'm just going to put G for the greater tubercle. And the other one here that's more anterior, right, is going to be the L for lesser tubercle. That you're just going to have to see on a diagram, which is the one that looks the largest. And then there's a space between them, a bicipital groove, which is a groove that goes between both of those. Remember, these are going to be attachments for muscles. Okay, good. And then as we come down, there's a rough edge. If there's a rough edge there, it has to do where a muscle is attaching. What big muscle is your shoulder muscle? It's the deltoid. So that's the deltoid tuberosity. You got it. Okay, good. Now we're going to go back down to the tricky area down there. So in that tricky area, there is the condyle that I've already put in orange, and then everything that's not a condyle. And if it's not really part of the condyle, then it's the epicondyle. So this here is going to be an epicondyle. So is the other side, because they don't have orange on them, correct? So in this bone that I have here, and it is actually on me, it's a right bone. This then is going to be the medial epicondyle, and this is going to be the lateral epicondyle. I'll color it in black if I can get the lid off. Okay, so this is going to be epicondyle and epicondyle because it's not really quite part of that joint. It's on the side of the joint. Okay, now the joint. The joint is going to form a joint with two other bones, so we're going to name those two joints separately. And the one that looks more rounded, that looks like a cap that you would wear, is called the capitulum. Let's write that one in. Capitulum. I might have to take my skeleton off. And the other one that looks sort of like a spool of thread, it's kind of this shape or a bow tie, whatever you want to call it, that here is called the trochlea. So two joints, trochlea, the double spool or the bow tie, and the cap, the capitulum. And that is what you need to find on the anterior portion of the humerus. When you go to the posterior part of the humerus, and there's going to be sort of a fossa there, and there's actually one in the front also, two fossae. So this one here is called the Lateral Fossa. And this one here is the Coronoid Fossa. Coronoid Fossa. Okay, and then I compared that to Ole Corona. Okay, Ole Corona. Olecranon and Coronoid Fossa. So those are the structures you need to know in the humerus. So between my drawings and my showing you of the bones, I'm just hoping that you can get these down. Write them down, say them out loud, write them down again, make sure you can spell them, and that's how you're going to learn these. All right, I'm going to click myself off.